Days. We've been talking about it all year. The dog days are here, aren't they? How are we
The
doing,
dog
y'all?
days, we're officially in the dog days. Welcome back, everyone, to the On Deck Circle.
Maddox Martin,
Evan Morse.
Evan, welcome. We're back. It's our post deadline. Just kind of break down, see where we're at in baseball right now. We had our trade deadline extravaganza. We really appreciate everybody that came into the TikTok live and joined us. As of now, I'm going to apologize about the Twitch. That was something I was really excited for that ended up kind of just backfiring. That was on my computer and just me and my internet here in general. So maybe we'll get Twitch, but no promises on that.
Next time.
TikTok Live is for sure something we're going to be doing in the future. We've talked about it. We're going to go live and probably just talk baseball with everybody. But yeah, Evan, what do we got here today? What do we got in store for us?
All right, Maddox, obviously you mentioned it. We just had the deadline, so we're going to get into our winners and losers of the deadline, and we'll do our power rankings as well post-deadline. Maybe not in that order. I don't know. Whatever the podcast finds its way to be, we will do. But yeah, and then after that, if we still have some extra time, we might get into some trivia, might get into ballpark bites. Maybe we'll do a little
162
call. Yeah, we'll do a little audible call.
Stat pad. We haven't even touched a stat pad.
Yeah, that's right. We maybe should do a stat pad.
We'll give y'all something. It depends on how fast we get through this. But do we want to let's just kind of break down the deadline, because we kind of, Evan, you and me, I know we were pretty similar in this. We didn't think there was going to be that much going on, especially after the Skubal deals the night before the deadline. Freddie Peralta's traded the day before the deadline, so there was stuff happening before the deadline that made me think this is going to be a boring live stream, and it turned out to be pretty fun. We had some nice trades in there, and we had some good reactions. I need to get the reaction of the Rutschman trade up, because that one's one that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Yeah, I mean, I was telling you like a couple days before the deadline ended, I'm like, what's going to happen? Like, there's been no trades going on, and I don't think there was no one on the market. So I was like, no one's going to actually there's going to be some trades, but not a lot. I didn't expect Soriano to get traded, example. Freddie Peralta looked like, he maybe wasn't getting dealt, and he did. Taylor Ward getting dealt.
Taylor Ward. Rutschman was one, I had heard talks about it, but I was like...
I thought he was going to the Yankees. I'm
surprised he was getting moved anywhere in the AL East. I heard the reports about that, but I still didn't expect it. And then it turns out he's not going to the Yankees. He's going to the, to the Red Sox.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of trades happened. Honestly, that last day, there was 30 minutes of no trades, and then 10 minutes of just trade. It was just kind of slowly chugging along, and it was a good little pace. So, a very exciting deadline, which I didn't think it was going to be, but there was a lot of surprising trades I liked. So,
yeah. So do you want to just get into some? Oh, I have my speaker.
What was that?
That was my speaker must have just turned off. Do you want to just talk about any, or do you want to go over your first winner of the deadline?
Yeah, I mean, let's just touch on them. I think yours is going to be the same winner. It's the Dodgers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really need to say anything else other than they got Skubal. It's like they have the Avengers assembled there in L.A., so I don't think anyone's going to beat the Dodgers, unfortunately, this year. And unfortunately, the Dodgers are the reason we have a lockout. Now, something that does make me a little bit hopeful is that they are on a 5-game losing streak right now. So,
I made a little post about that. It had a good start to the I had 300 views in the first hour. I was like, oh shit!
I was thinking it was going to be a little thing, but
it flatlined. But that's all right. We had 30 likes, which is not bad.
The only notable trade they made was for Skubal, and I mean, I think whoever got Skubal was the biggest winner of the deadline. So.
I'm trying to see. They got was that it? I think that was all they traded for.
Yeah, I want to say I want to say I remember them trading for someone else, but I might be crazy. I don't
know. I think that was just it. Yeah, that was their
All right, Maddox.
No. They added Hunter Fiduci. Yeah, whatever. They added a backup catcher on the Rays. Whatever.
All right, Maddox. Who's your first win of the deadline? Probably.
I'll do you want me to skip past the Dodgers?
Just skip past the Dodgers.
Let's skip past the Dodgers now. Yeah. I do want to talk about the Dodgers for a second, because they do have a bit of a interesting thing at catcher now. Will Smith's out, and Dalton Rushing's out for potentially the rest of the year now with a partial tear in his UCL, I believe. which is bad news for LA. And Dalton Rushing was a guy that had a lot of controversy in the around the MLB, around the fans. He's a pretty passionate guy who's just a young kid. And I remember watching a Foolish Bailey video. Shout out to Foolish Bailey, big Braves fan. He's welcome on the show anytime. But he was talking. He made his like defense for Dalton Rushing, which surprised me at the time when I watched it, but I kind of got it. And he started to turn it around recently, and now he's potentially out for the year. Who knows what's going to happen with them? I don't know what the Dodgers are going to do at catcher, but nonetheless, Skubal, you win the deadline. They have the best team in baseball, maybe the best team since the Murder Row or whatever what do they call it?
Murderers Row. The Yankees with the Brewers.
The Yankees back in the day. This is probably the best lineup we've seen since then, or maybe ever. So my next winner, I'm going to go with the San Diego Padres. I think another team in that NL West made some nice moves. AJ Preller is known as the off-season champion. Well, this year he says, all right, I'll be the in-season champion, or I guess not the in-season champion, but he'll be one of the champions of the deadline. Casey Mize, Robbie Ray, those are two nice arms to keep that rotation going. They had one of the weakest farm systems in the major, so the fact they're able to acquire a couple of really nice arms as well, I think they did their job. And the only thing now is just, can they hit? I think they have enough pitching to get them into that wild card spot now. They need their bats to. They don't even need to be good. They need them to just exist. They need guys
be average.
Literally, you could even be below average. And I think that you have the pitching now, especially with that rotation getting a big boost. You have the best bullpen in baseball, arguably, and they only sit, as I'm looking here. Yeah, they're a game behind the Diamondbacks for that final wild card spot. Now it's up for grabs between the Marlins and the Pirates and Cardinals as well, I guess. But I would really say it's Diamondbacks versus Padres for that third wild card spot. So that'll be a lot of fun for us, Evan, down at Chase Field as we get through the dog days of the season.
Oh yeah. We can talk more on the Padres too. Just talk more smack on their name. I'm sure the D-backs fans will love us.
Oh man, they're at Chase Field. They're playing at Chase Field tonight. We
were down there, man.
Yes, they split the first two games of the series. Diamondbacks take game 1. Padres take game 2. This is a pivotal series right now at this point of the season, and they don't play again until the end of the season. That's where the season will end in San Diego. Between the Diamondbacks and Padres.
You know what we got to do, Maddox? When we go down there, we should wear a white shirt with Sharpie on it that says, Padres suck. Come at us.
Okay. Oh, gosh.
All right. Anything you want to else touch on the Padres?
The Padres, we've talked a lot of shit about them, and I want to say just to everybody as we get through our power rankings, they're not on there, but I may be contradicting myself. I think I don't know about you, but I play it up a little bit about my distaste for the Padres.
Oh yeah, me too, for sure.
It's fun to just shit on them and joke about them. I think they still have a very realistic chance of making the playoffs. If I want to level with everybody, to level with you, I think that they could make the playoffs, and I would not be surprised if they did. And I think the deadline helps them out a bit, so that's why I threw them in there as one of my winners.
I agree with you. I mean, it's tough being in the same division as the Dodgers, so. It's tough, man. I don't dislike the Padres at all. I mean, they sweep the Mariners almost every time we face them. So, I mean, lovely there. But, I mean, that doesn't really matter. So, it's just funny to, talk smack about them. And, that always, it's fun, man. It's just fun having like a little scapegoat you can punch up on. Anyways, my winners are second winner of the deadline. It's the Red Sox, all right?
Yep.
Obviously, they made one of the first moves of the deadline, got Curtis Mead. And he instantly got injured.
That's a tough loss.
That's a tough loss. I mean, but the trade, I like it. Okay, we're not talking about, what happened after the deadline, all right? I'm talking about the trades, okay? And obviously, this is also why I think that this is also a big win for him. The Adley Rutschman trade, there's obviously reports about him going to the Yankees. A lot of Yankees fans saw that was going to happen, and it wasn't. Now, they gave... a lot of...
They gave up a good system. They gave up 3 of their top 5 prospects in that trade.
But they have been red hot, Maddox. And you bring in guys into teams that are red hot like this, that were down in the dumps. The vibes change like that, okay? And they just swept the Dodgers. Pretty sure they beat the White Sox. Like yesterday, was it like 14-1, 15-1, some crazy stuff like that? Blew them out. this just looked like a completely different team the last month. I don't know what has happened. AJ, our friend, has been, last time I talked to him in Arizona was in May, June, like face to face. He did not want to talk a word about baseball. I'm sure he would love to get on the show and talk anything baseball related right now because the Red Sox are winning.
Especially since the Celtics gave up Jaylen Brown, too.
Yeah. It's just, I don't really know. The Boston fans, because of the terrible managerial decision of the Celtics, they get the reverse fortune with the Red Sox. They get some miracle run that's going on right now. But the team's hot, man. And when you get hot in the dog days, you don't cool off. You keep going hot into the postseason. We'll see what ends up happening with the Red Sox.
In that trade, they got Eric Miller from the Giants. And 2.79 ERA this season, 2.0, 1.37 WHIP. Pitched to one batter. What did he do? He struck him out. So that's a really good sign there. That was I believe that was the Marcelo Meyer deal. And that one's interesting. It surprised me. I was surprised to see Marcelo Meyer get traded. He was one of the top prospects in their system a couple years ago, and all of a sudden he's gone and got shit for a reliever who's, not a lot of people are really familiar with Eric Miller, but solid arm, a lefty arm, you'll never say no to that. And I think the Rutschman trade is interesting. I think they gave up a little bit too much.
I agree with you.
If you're trading within your division, you have to pay a little bit more of a premium. And they did that. I don't know if it's going to work out. Maybe Rutschman can turn it around and get back to where he was a couple of years ago. And, maybe you can hope that those prospects you gave up don't come to really harm you that much in the future. But for now, I'm not mad at the Red Sox being there. I was surprised. I'm looking at ESPN, and according to them, they have the Red Sox as one of their losers of the deadline.
I don't think so.
So, I don't. I'm with you. I'm kind of in between on the Red Sox.
Here's the thing about the trade. Adley Rutschman are under club control until 2027. Yeah. Obviously, that's walkout year, so maybe not. But this shows a team you want to win now. The Red Sox, a lot of the fans are calling. They need to make a move. I like the move, man. I don't hate it. Okay, yeah, they probably gave up a little bit too much, but that Red Sox always have talent. They always are very good at scouting talent, finding talent, developing talent. So I don't think there's going to be no shortage of that in the future, right? And this is also a guy, too, Adley Rutschman. We haven't really seen the player he should be yet. There's a little bit of a gamble that comes with him. And maybe it was the organization he was in, Maddox, because, even on our post the other day, some guy was commenting, they gave up Rutschman to get all these prospects. And some guy was like, this is a great trade. And then the other guy was like, no, it's a terrible trade because the Orioles suck at developing prospects and players. And it's true. Look at all the good prospects they've had last 5 years. Adley Rutschman is one of them. Outside
of Gunnar Henderson, even Gunnar Henderson has been pretty bad. 18 homers, but he's batting .217. So they have prospects that come up and, they have a really good start, and then they just kind of
what about Kobe Mayo?
What about Jackson Holiday? Jackson Holiday's a guy who never even did he ever even come on? Well,
I don't think he did. He was average at best. He was,
he's turned into an average hitter this year. It's 107 OPS plus, just doing it. He's just doing it, and that's it. He's never he batted in 60 games, had a sub batted below the Mendoza line his rookie year in 24. He's only 20 years old, so that's the thing about Jackson Holiday. He's young. He's 22 still, so I'm not saying give up on these guys. By no means am I saying that. But they're turning out. They're not panning out where they are right now. Why not try to flip them for some talent? And that's what they did with Adley Rutschman, the Orioles. Yeah. And I personally, I like it. I like getting prospects for Adley Rutschman. Hopefully he can develop this time. Fingers crossed, fifth time's a charm.
All right, Maddox. Let's move into your third winner of the deadline here.
I actually just like to switch it up a little bit this time. Instead of going with, a winner to propel them to the playoffs this year, I'm more so looking for the future. And I like the St. Louis Cardinals for that right there, because they did what they needed to do to get ahead to the future. They end up get rid of Dustin May and Lars Nootbaar, who had been struggling this year, and they end up getting a potential starting pitcher in the future, Daniel Egan. for in that trade from Lars Nootbaar, and they also got two possible impact bats in the outfield. Alexander Frias, and Josiah Ragsdale are two people who could potentially be something in the future for St. Louis. They have such a young team, and they're only getting younger now, adding these other guys. So I'm with it 100%. I like the youth movement the Cardinals are doing over here. And they had a really good start to the year. They've started to fall off. They're probably done for the season in terms of playoff race. They currently sit 2 games under 500 and just a little bit too far out to have me believing in them really and put them in my playoff predictions or power rankings or anything. But I'm a big fan of what the Cardinals are doing over there, so I would, keep a lookout on that. We'll see where it goes.
Well, Maddox, I know one of the big trades I honestly liked for both sides was that Dustin May trade. You mentioned Frias and Ragsdale. Just look at their stats, man. I know we were talking about this on the live.
Those guys are already in the top 10 of their system. So
yeah,
they're in the top 10 of the Cardinal system. They have a young core, and I love it.
And they were 13 and 11 in the Brewer system. That just tells you how much depth they have. But these guys are both batting close to 100 OPS. Ragsdale is, and Frias is batting 980. So OPS. So both of them excellent young bats. Frias 18, Ragsdale 22. So very, very young. And you know what? They got to realize in this situation, okay, well, we're in a very, very competitive division. We probably don't have what it takes right now at this moment to be competitive. Giving up to get what they want to get, giving up things that'll probably help them in the future for a chance to, you're really just shooting yourself in the foot if you try to be a buyer at the deadline, the Cardinals. So they went out and they sold, and they got a lot of good prospects for it. Mm-hmm. And they have a guy, Jordan Walker, who had a breakout season, still having a breakout season.
JJ Weatherholt is Rookie of the Year candidate.
He is Rookie of the Year candidate. They have all the building blocks and pieces to be successful in the future. 100%. I love what the Cardinals did, and honestly, I'm a little bit sad that I did not put them in my winners. But
for the Cardinals fans, we're probably not going to be talking about them a whole lot more outside of JJ Weatherholt, like just in terms of the team as we get towards the playoff push. Probably not, but pay attention to the Cardinals in the future. I'm really excited to see about that. Now, one more thing. You talked about Frias and Ragsdale both being 13 and 11 in the Brewer system. So, yeah, talk about how deep that Brewer system is. What were they doing? What did they do? Outside of trading for Dustin May and JoJo Romero, they didn't do anything, and they're 70 and 43. They're right now in the NL, the Braves and the Brewers are supposed to be the teams that are supposed to go toe-to-toe with the Dodgers. Basically, everybody should be rooting for them to kind of end this lockout.
Yep.
Get rid of this lockout. Because maybe if the Dodgers win the World Series, there's no doubt in my heart that there will be a lockout that'll miss at least a good chunk of next season. I think if the Dodgers don't make the World Series, maybe they don't.
There's a chance.
Maybe we don't have a lockout. I think there's a lower chance of a lockout if they get eliminated before the World Series. And the Brewers and Braves are supposed to be the teams that are supposed to try to go up toe-to-toe with them. And they didn't really do much at all. And I'll talk about both of them in a little bit. But do you have a winner you want to go through? Or do you still have another winner?
Yeah, I have the Twins as my winner, my last winner here. Okay. I love the Twins. I love what they did. Obviously pick up Minter Hoffman and Dean Kremer. All excellent pickups. I think obviously Buxton being out. He's still out, right? I'm not. Let me check. Buxton. I think he's still injured. He was day-to-day. When he played against the Mariners, he wasn't playing. So yeah, go ahead. He's placed on the IL. So
okay. So what this is kind of telling me from the Twins strategy is that, maybe they aren't trying to make a full-out playoff push this season. Maybe they are. I mean, they have a chance in the very weak AL Central, very weak AL in general. Again, sound like a broken record talking about it, but we talk about baseball, and that's one of the leagues in the sport we're talking about are just a little bit worse than the other. But a couple of they kept a lot of their free agent candidates. Ryan Jeffers and Trevor Larnach were both names that were just circling around baseball on Monday. They keep both of them. the ownership's kind of, maybe they're trying to invest into the further on into the future in 2027. Maybe they want to go out there and do something in the offseason, go get another bat or something. But I mean, AJ Minter's a very good high leverage left-handed reliever. Jeff Hoffman, Blue Jays fans, I mean,
Blue Jays fans say he's a terrorist.
Kids were singing in the streets. You would have thought that America just won the World War II again with Jeff Hoffman getting traded. But he's a good depth, and I don't think he's the worst. I think Hoffman can give you some quality innings out of the bullpen, and Dean Kramer, get some starting pitching depth. They saw some injuries to their rotation, so I'm not mad at this at all. They have good bats. Buxton, Trevor Warnick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ryan Jeffers is back, and he's one of my favorite catchers in baseball. I'm with it. I'm with the Twins. Maybe they can make a push for that 6th seed, or hell, even win that division.
I love the Twins, man. They're hot right now. Or they're not hot, excuse me. I think they could get hot. That's what I meant to say. And I think they got the pieces around it. Once Buxton comes back, which looks like he's on a 10-day IL, so I don't know when that'll be. But there's a chance, man. I think the Twins could sneak in, and they could get hot late. It's what, happens every year. All right, should we get in the losers, Maddox?
We can. I actually have an honorable mention. I wanted to, I don't actually. I don't. I'll throw my honorable mention to the Rays. We've already talked about them, but I'll give the Rays an honorable mention. So that's where I'm at, and let's get into the losers. Go ahead, lead us off.
All right, my first loser is the Blue Jays. I think they just got fleeced at the deadline. First of all, they traded Gausman and then traded for Soriano and got whatever trade they did for Soriano. I think they got absolutely fleeced on. Okay. Soriano is a great pitcher, but not for the number 39 prospect in the league. And they also gave up another prospect on top of that. And they didn't get anything really in return for Gausman. So I'm looking through our trade graphics we have. All the trades that the Blue Jays made were B-. And I think they literally just every trade made themselves a little bit worse. Traded away Varsho for Arrighetti to the Astros. If you ever heard of him before, I mean, look at the stats, man.
Oh, Arrighetti? Yeah.
No, the Blue Jays absolutely fleeced themselves. And again, also Hoffman too. They got a couple prospects, but it wasn't anything big. So I have no clue what they're doing, honestly.
It's a lot of question marks, and I could see that that trade for Soriano being one for the future, but I don't know what they're doing really.
I don't get it, Maddox.
Soriano has years of control on him, but
yeah, but
other than that, I don't know. And I don't buy Jose Soriano at all. I'll say it. I don't buy it.
Me neither. Soriano gets hot early in the season. I was bought on him early. I fell into the Soriano trap once again. This was his best year he's ever had
100%.
At the start. And I was like, all right, this is the year Jose Soriano is going to be the real thing. And he just, once again, he fell right up off a cliff, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that's because he's on the Angels, but I don't know.
I don't know, Maddox. You want to get your loser?
My biggest loser, maybe I'm biased, but it's the Atlanta Braves. This is a team coming into this trade deadline that needed to get an arm. They needed pitching, and maybe they needed an outfielder as well. And they ended up going to get Lane Thomas, a solid outfield bat who can hit lefties really well. So that's what you like to see. But their starting pitcher they got was Tyler Mahle. I believe it's Mahle. I don't know how to pronounce his name. That says enough about it. 5.13 ERA for him. Another guy they traded for, Bailey Falter. 13.97 ERA for Bailey Falter. And then Brent Suter has a 4.12 ERA. Decent reliever in the minors. But they needed starting pitchers. And I don't think Tyler Mahle is going to be enough to propel them any further than where they're at right now. Which, if you had to ask me, part of me wants to say, the Braves fan in me wants to say, this is a team that can make it and compete in the NLCS and has a chance to win the pennant. But a more realistic part of me just feels like this is 2022 and 2023 all over again. I'm going to pray to God that we don't see the Phillies in the first round of the playoffs, because if we do, I might blow my brains out. I'll go live on TikTok and just blow my brains out.
I'm sure. You know what, Maddox? Because I know the Mariners aren't going to make the fucking playoffs. We can just go live and watch the Braves on TikTok.
I think we should do that. I think we should do like a
Or
I
like
think we
just
should
a
do some
postseason.
Yeah, postseason. Like, look up, if you see what John Boy and all the talking baseball, they do like stuff like that all the time. So I think we could definitely do that. But that's for the future. For now, the Braves, Alex Anthopoulos. They had. Here's the thing. So that it's nothing about. I mean, the prospect valuation I think was different. I think fans thought of prospects a little bit differently than the Braves and the rest of baseball did. But they had guys to give up. I mean, on paper, not the best farm system, but they definitely have good prospects in there, good pitching prospects, if you wanted to try and give it up. But they decided instead to keep what they've got. And, I like their I think their offense will be one of the best in baseball, continue to be one of the best in baseball over the next 3 or 4 years. While their core will continue to age, they have younger guys ready to fill in the spots.
Drake Baldwin's been excellent.
Drake Baldwin's excellent. He's young. Acuna's
Next big star in the league.
I think, I honestly, now that I'm just thinking about it, I forgot about Acuna. I actually really forgot about Acuna's his contract, because it's until 2020. Let me look at Spot Track. I believe it's next year is potentially the last year. Yes, club control till 29. So 2029 he will, or in the 2028 season, he'll be a free agent. The Braves are going to have an interesting thing to make. I don't know about what happens next year. I don't know if there's a lockout, if you have to cancel the whole season next year, Evan. I wonder if players on their contracts, if they'll get that year back, or
they should get that year back. Because you're not playing baseball.
So. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, you never know, because we haven't seen this happen before, where a full entire season, like we saw the '94 strike, of course.
We saw the strike, yeah.
But that's the worst it's come with baseball, and hopefully we can get this figured out. I don't know. The Braves are my biggest losers of the deadline. What about you?
Yeah, I already touched on my biggest loser, so should we just I think we have the same team here as one of our losers, the Brewers.
Brewers, yes. 100%.
We'll just touch on them real quickly. I think, listen, you got to understand the situation that you're in, okay? I think that's something that a lot of teams did not do this deadline. A lot did, but a lot didn't as well. I think half the league did. But listen, you got to understand, you have one of the hottest pitchers in the league, if not the hottest and the best pitcher in the league, who's a rookie, okay? Most of the time, after the rookie season,
he's not a rookie anymore.
This is technically his full first season.
Full season.
Yeah. Sometimes guys cool off, okay? And baseball's unpredictable, okay? You can't just tell me Jacob Misiorowski is going to be like this for the next 10 years. He's not going to be. He's going to have down seasons. He's going to have up seasons. This might be the best season he ever has. Who knows, okay? And he has not slowed down. If anything, he's heated up, okay? The Brewers should have seen that and recognized, okay, we need to strengthen up this roster, because look at what the Dodgers did, okay? They have the best farm system in the league, and they really did absolutely nothing over the deadline, and it's a real shame that, they could have added a lot more, I think, and just missed on a great golden opportunity to go and challenge the Dodgers. Yes, the Dodgers have assembled the Avengers, but sometimes the Avengers lose. Look, Infinity War, bro. They lost to Thanos. They had to use the stones to go back in time to get the stones and retry again, okay? It just bothers me. It bothers me that they just really didn't make any big moves. Like, they made a couple trades, but they weren't big trades, okay? They needed a bat. They needed a big bat, and they needed someone to help Misiorowski. Dustin May, sure, but, like...
Can he stay healthy? We don't even know if he's going to stay healthy. That's been the thing about Dustin May his entire career, is that he's injury prone. So
and Dustin May isn't like
who knows what you get out of Dustin May.
It just frustrates me, Maddox.
Who do you trust more going into a playoffs? This is a really dumb question, but what 1-2 punch would you rather see? Jacob Misiorowski and Dustin May, or Jacob Misiorowski and Tarik Skubal?
Skubal, they could have gotten Skubal too. Like, yeah, I really paid for Skubal so much because, first of all, you get Skubal, and second, more importantly, the Dodgers don't get Skubal, who's your biggest competition. Like, if they went out and got Skubal, the Brewers would be my favorites right now. They would be my favorites in the postseason to win the World Series. But they didn't do that. They had an opportunity to, again, prevent Thanos from snapping his glove, okay, at the end of Infinity War, you know, when Iron Man takes the glove and I am Iron Man. They had the opportunity to do that, and they didn't. Instead, they let Thanos win. They let him win. They let him go to his farm, and now they got to go back, pick up the pieces, you know, save everyone that's been snapped out of existence because they missed the deadline. I don't know what they're going to do, Maddox. You know, it's just, I'm very disappointed.
I will say, my favorite pick and my favorite trade that they made was for Antonio Senzatella with the Rockies. I think I talked about him on that live stream Monday. I love Antonio Senzatella. He's a really good reliever whose ERA is about somewhere around in the 4 range. But if you look at that
field,
if you look at the home road splits, his ERA is about 2 points lower on the road. So I like Antonio Senzatella as another good bullpen arm. I think their bullpen's pretty solid now with, you know, you got Romero, you got Aaron Ashby, you got you've got Abner Uribe, and now you've got Antonio Senzatella, and I'm missing probably another name in there, Trevor McGill. So that's where I'll say I think they did good. They did a good job at addressing some needs in their bullpen, but this isn't a team that's contending for a wild card spot. No, this is a team that's contending for the NL pennant. And like I said with the Braves, they're one of the only teams that can really stand up to the Dodgers. The Tigers didn't even really get that much from LA. The Dodgers didn't give up anything too crazy. They didn't give up. They gave up Zaire Hope. They didn't give up Josue DePaula.
Brewers can beat that at all. The Brewers can beat that. The Brewers can beat that.
Yes. Now, the thing with the Tigers is that apparently they wanted to make a deal with LA, which is a little weird. But, you know, I don't know. I think the Brewers could have tried to match it, could have tried to beat it. And if you do beat it, you go for this. It would have been, for Brewers fans specifically, let's go back to the year 2008. Who did the Brewers trade with the Cleveland with Cleveland Indians at the time for CC Sabathia? He goes 11-2 with a 1.65 ERA in his 17 starts with the Brewers. He threw 7 complete games. Now, they ended up losing in the playoffs, but that was the type of pitcher you would have been getting with Tarek Skubal. And
if anything, better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, instead now, you scrap it together with Dustin May, and now you're trying to you're starting lower than the Dodgers. You're going to have to be punching upwards the whole way there. I don't think they can beat LA. I don't think so. I don't think anybody can, but, you know, maybe. Who knows? All it takes is a couple of games.
I'm disappointed, Maddox. You know, this is the team, you know, the Mariners in 1995, the team that saved baseball in Seattle. There could be a team this year that saved baseball everywhere. And we're not going to get it, man. Not going to get it. All right. My last loser of the deadline, the Royals. I didn't really talk about them before the podcast. We were talking about our biggest winners and losers. I changed it in the middle of the podcast because I realized, what did the Royals actually do?
Did we mention the Royals once on our...
They made one trade with the Braves, like one decent trade that ended up on our graphics for Lane Thomas.
Yeah.
What did they do at the deadline, Maddox? They are in the dumps right now. They need to get some talent over there. They did absolutely nothing, sat down like a dog and just let it happen.
So the 3 deals that they made were with the Braves, the Dodgers, and the Phillies. They traded away Lane Thomas and Bailey Falter for pitching prospects Lucas Braun and Carter Holton. I know who Lucas Braun is, of course. I mean, I'm a Braves fan, so I know him. He's not that great. He's like maybe a top. Lucas Braun's not going to be anything special in major leagues. Carter Holton, I really don't know anything about him, so can't really tell you that. They end up giving up Chris Bubich for Carlos Duran, minor league prospect. And then they end up acquiring Nolan Hoffman from the Phillies in exchange for Manuel Colon, so just a minor league deal there as well. So really nothing from the Royals besides giving up one of their pitchers and Chris Bubich, one of their guys in the rotation. So really,
I mean, Chris Bubich, are the Dodgers actually going to use him? Like, what do they need? They're going to throw him in the bullpen? Like, I don't understand.
Okay, the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's the Dodgers. Yeah,
he's got 4.1 ERA. He'll probably. I mean, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with him, but I'm guessing. Probably try to go him. I mean, throw him in the rotation. I'm sure. I mean, he was an All-Star last year. He's got a 4.11 ERA, so I think he's still got. I don't know.
Yeah.
My
I mean, they
big-
could have traded Seth Lugo. They could have traded Michael Walker, but
I
they
think
didn't.
man, that's what pissed me off. I think the Braves could have went and got either of those pitchers. Instead, they're like, "Nah, we're good. We'll take Lane Thomas. Yeah, give me Bailey Falter as well, please."
Yeah, I just.
Fuck Alex Anthopoulos. I'll say it. Fuck you.
All right, Maddox, who's your last loser here?
It's the Tigers. I mean, I think that they just pushed it off and pushed it off and pushed it off with Scooble. I mean, I don't know. I did not like what the Tigers did. The Casey Mize trade, for example. I mean, Cash Mayfield, and Jackson Wolf. Really, come on. And they also hold on to impending free agents. Gleyber Torres was a guy that if you want to sell, go ahead and sell and get rid of Gleyber Torres too.
He's a good bat.
Exactly, and he's not. I don't think he's coming back to Detroit next year. Nope. They also had a closer, Kenley Jansen. He's nothing too special, but he's a relief pitcher that teams are looking for. Instead, you want to just kind of sell and kind of sell away. I mean, yes, Zaire Hope. I'd be really excited for that. I'd be really excited for Zaire Hope. River Ryan, yeah, he's all right. And then Brady Smith, I don't really know who that is, but I mean, I think that the trade for Scooble, I think they could have gotten more if you traded to if you waited a minute. If you didn't have to rush the trade with LA. That's the whole thing. The Tigers went so fast and accepted that trade with the Dodgers. I think they could have slowed it down and waited until Monday, and we could have kind of sat
waited at the deadline.
I think you have a chance to upgrade. I think you have a chance to get maybe even Jesus Mate from Milwaukee potentially.
The Tigers really screwed up trading Scooble because they literally could have traded him last year before the season started. Would have gotten probably twice what they got now. And what? Oh, so
Zaire. That's it. Just give me Zaire.
And now they traded him too early. You know, I thought I'd never say that, but they did. And they could have waited a couple days longer. Probably could have gotten a couple more offers from a couple other teams. You know, and the best play they got was Zaire Hope and Cash Mayfield. Cash Mayfield, who is a 3.54 ERA pitcher in the minors this year. Like, what are we doing here, Maddox?
Also got an honorable mention for the White Sox and the Marlins as well. I just didn't really. The Marlins, they get rid of Liam Hicks. They're a game and a half out of the wild card, but you know they get rid of Liam Hicks, who he's under team control until 2032.
I don't know why they did that.
Maybe it's better for the long term, you know. And the White Sox as well. You know, they're very ahead of schedule, so that's why I'm not putting them in my biggest losers because it's not like this is like a make or break year for them. They're coming a couple of years off of the worst team of all the worst season of all time in MLB history. So getting Luis Castillo hasn't been that great with Seattle. And you're also paying him. You're also paying him $24 million next year.
They ate that whole contract. I don't know why they did that.
Britton Doyle is a really good defensive outfielder, but I mean he can't hit water if he fell out of a boat. He couldn't hit the bare side of a barn. Nope. And Huascar Brasaban, you know, he's a solid bullpen arm, but I think they could have went a little bit better. Now, Joey Bart they also acquired from the Braves. That catching situation is probably the worst I've seen in baseball because I mean it's Drew Romo, I believe, and then Kyle Teel, and they're both absolutely dog shit. They're both horrible. I mean, yeah, now it's Joey Bart and Drew Romo as Kyle Teel is recovering from an injury, but Drew Romo, how's he been hitting this year? Because if I'm not mistaken, 134. he's almost had 150 at bats. He's batting 134. So good luck with that. Kyle Teel, on the other hand, is batting at 190. So really, just good luck to the
White Sox. Good luck to you guys, man. You know they needed a starting pitcher. They got Luis Castillo, probably one of the worst arms on the market. Maybe that's just because I'm a Mariners fan and I just hate my team right now. I don't want to talk about the Mariners today. I know you've talked about the Braves. They don't deserve to get mentioned. So not in my power list. So we're not going to talk about the Mariners at all today. Maddox, should we jump into that power list?
Let's go ahead. Give me, do we go 10 to 1?
Let's go 1 to 10 because, like, if we go top to bottom, like I feel like the top ones everyone knows about, right?
Yeah, everyone knows the top one. So let's just go through that all the way.
Like
we have two.
What, 1 and 2.
We have not.
Brewers.
Brewers, yes.
We don't got to talk about that much.
No.
I mean, it's pretty simple. We talked about, you know.
We can talk about the team more. We can talk more about the teams.
Yeah, there we go.
No, I know. I'm looking at both. We can talk about the teams that we haven't really touched on as much. I have the Braves at number 3. I know you went different.
I got the Rays.
Yep.
And then I got the Braves at 4, which you have the Rays. Or
at 4. Yeah, we just flipped 3 and 4. So let's talk. Have we really talked about the Rays that much today?
No, we have not, Maddox.
I think they did pretty good. They had a solid deadline. They got Freddie Peralta, so he hasn't been that great with New York. Can he turn it around? The Braves have some sort of pitching lab. They all automatically make pitchers just better whenever they get there. And they also get Liam Hicks, who's having a career year from the Marlins.
I love Liam Hicks, dude. Just a great bat this season. He's slugging well, 440 slugging, 15 bombs. But I really like Maddox? 365 OBP. All right, excellent. This guy doesn't whiff much. He doesn't chase much. He does not strike out much. And he squares up often. Everything else he sucks at. All right, I'm looking at Savant, really, really sub-average. But listen, the Rays is a team, and I say this again and again, a team that grinds out games. They just get on base. They get runners. They get runners in scoring position, and then they score. Okay, Liam Hicks is a guy that helps that style of baseball. And if you want to talk about a team that brought in guys that helps their style of play, the Rays on this deadline is probably one of the few teams that did that. And that says something about the team. It says that we believe in what the team's, in the team going forward. We believe in the philosophy what the coach has, okay, and the managers. So maybe there's a chance. Maybe the Braves believe in something that we have not seen all year. I've been talking, okay, when are the Braves going to slowly slow down or slowly fall down?
I know. I've been talking about it.
It hasn't happened. It has not happened. They've been grinding out games every day. We see the Rays, they jump the Yankees, and the Yankees are back ahead of them. And then I think, okay, this is when they slow down. But then they jump the Yankees again. I love it, Maddox. I love it.
I think that trade for Liam Hicks, I think he fits perfectly into that Rays just style of offense. They're not going to overpower you. Liam Hicks isn't a guy who hits the ball that hard. One thing that concerns me with him, his expected slugging percentage is about almost 100 points lower than his actual slugging percentage, but it's August now. We're in the dog days. So at this point, if your expected stats aren't matching up with your actual stats, maybe you're just a really lucky guy. So whatever, maybe God's on your side. Now, I like the Rays a lot now, and I actually have them over the Yankees as well, which I believe, I'm looking back to the last time we did this, I had the last 2 times we've done this, I've had the Yankees above the Rays. So kind of switching things up this time. Finally, I'll give you guys the props, Tampa. Now, they could win. They could have the best record in the AL, and they probably still won't sell out their playoff games. So,
yeah, that's true.
It is what it is.
It's true. Maddox, you want to talk about your Braves for a little bit?
Yeah, I'll talk about them outside of the deadline. Because outside of the deadline, there's a reason I have them at number 3. They're still playing good baseball, and that's there's a reason why I personally am not freaking out as much as like a lot of Braves fans on Twitter. They're losing their minds. You go on there, you would think we're fucking 45 and 68. No, we're 68 and 45. The Braves should win this division. The Phillies have been playing some rough baseball recently. The Marlins, they're weird. I don't think they're going to compete either. So the Braves hopefully can coast into this division. They only sit 2 games behind Milwaukee. They only sit a half game behind LA. So they could get out of that. They can get out of that wild card series and go straight into the NLDS and get one of those buys. That'd be really nice. The bats are starting to have been waking up more. The pitching has looked really good. Grant Holmes just threw 6 scoreless innings last night. The night before that, it was Martin Perez was throwing really good. So a lot of the pitchers that we have right now, they're looking good. I'm concerned about them in the playoffs. That I really go back to 2022 and 23 again, where regular season, great team. Do you have the depth pitching wise to go match up with a team like the Dodgers or match up with a team like the Brewers? I don't know. Just because once you get done with Chris Sale, who he might find a way to sneak himself into winning a Cy Young again. Who knows what's going on?
I don't know what's going on over there.
If with Mizorowski potentially slowing down, with Mizorowski starting to slow down his innings, as I'm looking here, yeah, Chris Sale plus 700 now. Last time we recorded, I believe he was still like 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 15. So he's up to plus 700. Things are getting a little bit interesting now here, Evan. I don't know. Maybe he does find a way to win himself a Cy Young award. But that's not what I'm really worrying about. I could care less if Chris Sale gets a Cy Young. I want to see this Braves team get back to the promised land. I thought 2021 was the start of a dynasty. Then you get eliminated in 2022, and I'm like, okay, but then 2023, right there again, best team in baseball, 40, 70 seasons from Acuna, they fall apart in the playoffs. So just turn it around, Atlanta. Please, I'm begging you. Please, find a way to get some pitching.
Yeah, Maddox, I think the Mariners need more than prayers, honestly.
Y'all need, y'all need like a Hindu, y'all need to go to like a Hindu tip.
Yeah, I need to go back to the Hindu temple and pray there, and maybe we need the Etsy witch as well with me there. But Maddox, you want to move into our 5 spot? I got the Cubs. We touched on them a lot when we were talking about the deadline, but I think the Cubs, again, a really streaky team at the start of the season. We're falling up and down, and now they've kind of found themselves. They solidified where they want to be. They just beat the Dodgers today, 6-7. Okay. Yeah. You know, I like the Cubs. I like where they're standing. PCA is having a great year. I mean, probably the best defensive outfielder in the game, if not one of the best. And he's having a career year this year, slugging more than he ever has. He's getting on base more than he ever has. 25 bombs, 28 stolen bases. Could go for 40-40. Is that possible? Maybe. 12 stolen bases and 15 home runs in the last 2 months. I mean, it's possible.
I don't think it's insane.
So yeah, I mean, he's turned into the player he thought he was going to be. And I'm really disappointed that he's just not on the Mariners. I'll say that. We just need everything we can right now.
Number 5.
Yeah, for you. Yeah, I got the Cubs.
Yes,
I already talked about them.
For me, yes, correct. I've got the Yankees. I mean, I wish they did more at the deadline, and I believe in Luis Garcia, so that's why I didn't put the Yankees down there in one of my losers. I'll throw them in I'll give them a honorable mention loser because they didn't really do a whole lot. But they're still the Yankees. They've got to. Hopefully, you can get Judge back for the playoffs. That's really what you're thinking about if you're New York. Mm-hmm. Just get ready for the playoffs. I don't care if you don't win the division or if you're the 5 seed, the 6 seed, the 3 seed, the 1 seed. I don't care. If you can just get back to health, get back to getting your offense back, I think they should be fine. I mean, they've got really good hitters on that team, and they've got some really good pitchers as well. So I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll talk about the Yankees a little bit later. I'm going to give updates on that Aaron Judge pick, but I'm going to move into my 6th spot, which it's not the Yankees. It's actually the Red Sox. Okay?
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
The heat, man. A little bit of
heat, baby.
Okay. Listen, this Red Sox team was down and out, a couple weeks ago. And, they really sucked. Okay. That's what I'm going to say. Not anymore, Maddox. Okay. They are the hottest team in baseball right now. They swept the Dodgers, okay, beat the Avengers, as I'll call them. 10 games above 500 now. They're 3 games behind the Yankees. And all this, Roman Anthony still out, right?
Good. Keep him out.
Keep him out. But listen, I still believe in Roman Anthony, okay? Maybe this is why he wasn't playing well. Maybe this problem was not diagnosed, and it was a problem he was dealing with for a couple months. He just didn't tell anyone. When you're a young player and you have all these expectations, and then you're like, I'm injured. Sometimes those guys are like, I'm going to try to just play through it. It was a problem in his thumb, okay? Torn ligament, that's a big deal, all right? Or was his ring finger, excuse me.
Yes.
Maybe that was something he was dealing with for a while, and he was just like, I'm going to play through it. You can't blame the guy, all right?
Now,
pressure's on his shoulders. When he comes back now, it's not. Pressure's off his shoulders. He can play however he wants. This team is going to support him, and they're still going to believe in him. Maybe the Red Sox fans won't, but I think I still do. I think there's still a chance for Roman Anthony.
Now, what about Garrett Crochet? Because he could be coming back. He just started throwing again, so he's been out since. Did he even? Yeah, late April. So he hasn't played in a while, but he might be coming back as we get ready for the playoff push, as we get ready for that September. I think getting Garrett Crochet back propels them from where I have them on my list, which is I have them at number 7. So I could see them even dumping the Yankees. And I could even, if you can get Garrett Crochet and Roman Anthony back playing at a kind of high level, they might win that division, which would be such an amazing story for Boston,
They have had one of the worst starts this season I've ever seen.
Them and the Phillies have both. I mean, they're kind of in the same boat. But if I had to pick one between the Phillies and the Red Sox, I'm picking the Red Sox every day of the week, and it's not close.
If the Red Sox get Crochet, I think it's no doubt that there's definitely a chance here that they can make a deep run in the AL. I mean, the AL, like I said, is wide open. And I don't want to say it, Maddox, but the Red Sox scare me a little bit. They look like the most complete team right now, okay? Once they get everyone's injuries back. And the way they're playing right now, I mean, they literally, knock on wood, they can't lose. They cannot lose. Like, they just swept the Dodgers. Maybe this is the team that saves baseball that I was talking about earlier. I don't know. Max, you want to get into your 6?
I went with the new. No, I wouldn't. No, I didn't. I went with the Chicago Cubs. We talked about the Cubs. I think PCA. I've been a PCA hater, and I have to say it. He's good. I don't know. I mean, it pissed me off to say it because I didn't believe in him, but he's gonna be a guy who strikes out a lot.
That's okay.
26% K rate. He whiffs a lot. He chases a lot. But what he does with that bat, he's got 25 homers. He's batting almost 290, 920 OPS. That's great on its own. Also throw in the fact that he's one of the fastest guys in baseball and that he's the best center fielder defensively that I've seen since Andrew Jones. He's probably the best I've seen since Andrew Jones. He's just that good. And the Cubs as a team have, they've had their ups and downs. They had that really bad stretch earlier in the year where I was having my fun making fun of PCA and the Cubs, but no, they want to be good at baseball again. So beating the Dodgers 7-6, that'll definitely do it for you. I'd like to see a little bit more from some of the guys. Dansby Swanson, for example, has been just a joke. Offensively, at least, I mean, defensively, Dansby Swanson's always been a pretty solid guy. I mean, he's got 99th percentile and outs above average at shortstop. Doesn't have much of an arm, but he can make the stops that you need him to make. He's also pretty fast, but he needs to hit better. He can't. He sucks.
You know what's funny is I was going through Marketplace the other day, as I do almost every day, and there was this guy, Facebook Marketplace, yeah. And there's this guy, again, I look through sports cards like to resell collections. I don't know if people know that on the podcast, but there's this guy, he was selling like a big lot, but he had like a lot of Dansby Swanson, like rookie autos and things like that. And I was like, Dansby Swanson. And he had the Braves when he was in the Braves organization. Did he start with the Braves?
So he was drafted number 1 overall by the Diamondbacks. Yeah. And we ended up trading for him, and I believe it was Max Fried as well in that trade.
Yeah.
I believe that was the trade.
Yeah, but he just had a lot of Dansby Swanson stuff. I thought that was funny because it's like, Dansby Swanson, are we serious?
Okay, no, we traded for Dansby Swanson and Ender Inciarte and then a prospect, Aaron Blair, who never turned out. And then we gave up Shelby Miller, who cares, and Gabe Spear. I think I've heard. Hold up,
Gabe Spear.
Spire. He's a
Mariner, right? The Mariners. He's great. He's great out of the bullpen. Great out of the bullpen.
This guy started in our organization.
I have no clue either.
Drafted by the Braves in. No, he wasn't. No, he didn't. When was he in our organization?
Oh, Maddox, let me.
Oh no, we traded. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, we traded for him in 2015 for Cameron Maben, and then we got rid of him. Oh, we got rid of him 2 weeks later to the Diamondbacks. So he didn't even get to set up shop in Atlanta. So,
and I think we got him When was that? We did a trade with the D-backs in
Yeah, you guys got
22.
You did no, you guys picked him up off of waivers.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yeah, because he got cut by the Royals. He's been good this year.
He's been great this year. Well, I guess I'll move into my 7. The Yankees. You had them at your 5, but the thing with me is they just look uninspiring, man. I mean, Aaron Boone, I absolutely despise him.
I hate that.
I don't know why he's still a manager. I'm also reading a report from Bleacher Report right now. Talks about Aaron Judge. It seems like he just got cleared for light physical activity. So he is not coming back in time for the playoffs if he's cleared for light physical activity now. I just don't know, Maddox. There's just a little bit of concern there. They're just dealing with a lot of injuries right now. And I think there's just going to be maybe a too little too late push for these Yankees. I think they could fall at a playoff spot. They've kind of been slowing down a little bit. I think the trades they made are good, but are they going to, pan out the way we think they are in the long run? I don't think so. I think if they do make the playoffs, we're going to see another DS or wild card exit from them. It could be Red Sox, Yankees, wild card, and the Red Sox bang them home, send them back to the Bronx, and that's my prediction.
I like it. Evan, where are we at right now? Okay,
we are 7.
Or
did
7?
we already? You didn't talk about your 7.
I didn't talk about the Red Sox? All right, let's go into my number 7. I went with the Boston Red Sox here, and that's subject to change. Like I've said, I think we've said enough. I think we said our piece about the Red Sox. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of what they're doing over there, and I think they have a chance to turn it around. If you can get Roman Anthony and Garrett Crochet back and have them playing as well as they can be, bada bing, bada boom, you'll get into my top 5 very soon.
I think they're already in my top 5 in my heart.
How about
my teams? Go ahead.
I was gonna just move your teams. What about them?
My teams I'm rooting for in postseason: Braves and Red Sox. Come on, man.
Chop on, baby. Chop on. No, we can't get canceled. We're gonna get. Oh, gosh, right as we were about to blow up, we might have just gotten canceled.
A funny story about that celebration, Tomahawk Chop. We were doing that in the dorm lounge. Yeah. And our RA got really mad. Literally our whole floor was doing it. Maddox convinced the whole floor to do it.
Yeah, it wasn't even me. It was always like
it was Taylor Gotney.
Rich and all of them. Taylor Gotney, they have a podcast, right? I think Taylor's got one.
I don't know if they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Maddox.
Move on to our number 8.
Let's get into our 8. It's the same one, so we can talk about it at the same time. The Phillies.
The Phillies, yeah.
Go ahead.
They were probably them and the Red Sox were nowhere near my power rankings at one point in the season, where they were both just some of the worst teams in baseball. All of a sudden, change at manager, Don Mattingly comes in, and all of a sudden they're good again. I don't know how much it's going to last, just because of their lack of offense all around. I mean, Brandon Marsh has been good, Bryce Harper's been good. Kyle Schwarber, of course, is just hitting bombs every day, it seems like. Other than that, though, they come off they're on a 4-game winning streak right now. That was off of a 4-game losing streak and off of another 4-game losing streak. So, again, it's just streaky. They go 4-game losing streak, win a game against the Yankees, 4-game losing streak, then they win 4 in a row, trying to sweep the Nationals tonight. We'll see. It's a lot of question marks with just a lot of these teams down here near the bottom of the list. As they sit 7.5 games back, they're 3 games above the Marlins. They should be good. I think they're a playoff team, but I don't know. What I'm really worried about is the Braves ending up getting them in the first round. So if the Braves end up as a 3 seed, have to go play, maybe the Phillies drop to that 6th spot in the NL wild card. Right now they're at the 5 seed, so they would end up playing, as of now, it'd be Phillies versus Cubs in that wild card series, and then the Braves would be playing the Diamondbacks. But I'd much rather play the Diamondbacks than the Phillies.
Maybe you'll end up playing the Padres, so you and Jack Brooks can.
No, I don't. No, I'm done with the Padres. The Padres beat us in 24, and that will make me actually hate the Padres if we play.
Yeah, maybe all the smack we've been talking about the Padres. will come back to bite you in the ass. But yeah, I think the Phillies, that addition of Arise, really, really good pickup. I love it actually.
I like Luis Arise.
Fits the offense well.
I would have liked to see them do a little bit more because outside of Luis Arise, it was kind of just, I don't know. You also got a couple of relievers. Brooks Raley and Caleb Killian help out the bullpen, but where is Luis Arise playing? He's playing, I guess, second base, moving Bryson Stott to third and move Alec Boehm to first and then move Bryce Harper to the outfield. You were talking about with the Reds, or with, who were you talking about that with? The Cubs?
The Cubs, this is the thing.
Moving this stuff around, and that's where I'm at with the Phillies.
Yeah, you know what? I was talking about that before the podcast. I had my Cubs in the biggest losers, but I changed them out for the Royals. Here's the thing. When you change a team's dynamic for where they play, the players on the team, when you're, especially with baseball, when you're 120 games into the season, we're close to that now, it's difficult. It is difficult for teams to adapt, change. You're very late in the season, you're comfortable, and you get in the outfield. Maybe it's just a mental thing, okay? We're humans at the end of the day. It's these small things that, just make a little change. And at baseball, at a professional level, that is so much of a change that it will make you lose baseball games. And when it affects the whole team or maybe just a couple players on the team, it is so huge. It's such a big change and such a big disaster for the team that you can't really fix other than not making the moves. And if you don't make the moves, then people are like, oh, why did you not make moves? If you make moves, then you lose, Sometimes that doesn't happen, and obviously maybe the opposite happens, but sometimes, the same thing happens, the bad things happen. So, I don't know, Maddox.
Arise is one of just the funniest anomalies in advanced metrics when you look at it. Because I just taking a look at his Baseball Savant page, this is a guy who strikes out less than anybody. He walks just about less than anybody. 5% walk rate, 4% K rate. He also chases 33% of the time. He only whiffs 7% of the time. He's 28th percentile in chase rate. He's somehow 100th percentile in whiff rate. He just swings at everything and puts the bat on the ball. Also, squared up percentage, 42%. So he squares the ball up really well. Has the slowest swing in all of baseball. He's almost, shouts out to Ducks on the Pod, another great baseball channel. He has the Barrel Blunder Award when they look for the player who has the player with the least barrels throughout the season, like who will end up recording a barrel the latest. And Luis Arise is always in that conversation because he doesn't barrel the ball up in terms of hitting the ball hard enough. His average exit velocity is only 87, which is near the bottom of the league.
He just hits the ball.
He's still batting .325. He still somehow has 4 home runs. He's also a good fielder, which really surprised me to see how good of a fielder he's been. 11 outs above average playing second base. So moving all of it around, though, for the Phillies, it worries me a little bit. Bryce Harper hasn't played in the outfield regularly since 2021, and he wasn't good when he played in the outfield back then. So moving all this stuff around gives me a little bit of worries, but I think he can turn it around and be just fine. I think they can be just fine, and I think Luis Arise will fit in really well with Philadelphia.
Time will tell, Maddox. Time will tell. That's what I always say. All right, Maddox, do you want to get in your 9 first? Or
I went with the Chicago White Sox. They were a team I kind of, wasn't rocking with at the deadline. Mm-hmm. I wasn't, I wasn't a fan of their deadline moves, but they've just been good enough this year to keep me believing in them. So I put them there. Munetaka Murakami, he's awesome.
Kind of slowed down a little bit.
He's still awesome, though. I like him. He slowed it down for sure. But I don't really know how they're winning games still, but they still are doing they're doing their job and still going out there and now they've grown that lead to 3 games over the Guardians. So
yeah,
it is what it is, I guess.
Like I said, those are one of the teams that I thought was just gonna slow down. Nope, hasn't. Colson Montgomery, 25 bombs this season too. Let's not forget about him. The average is not there, 216. He strikes out a lot, but he home runs. It's just the home run ball for that home run in the young core for the White Sox. They got blown out yesterday. That's one of the problems with that team is they just get blown out a lot. But yeah, they fight for wins. They came back against the Yankees a while ago. It was like a couple weeks ago. It was a great win. They came back. They were down like 1-4, 1-5, and then came back in the ninth. Made some little kid cry in the audience. I love that.
Always love that.
But yeah, the pitching is going to be an issue for me. I think Luis Castillo isn't as good of a pitcher as they could have got on the deadline. But yeah, I guess with that being said, I'll move into my 9. As much as it pains me to say, the Astros.
Yeah.
I think Varsho is a good pickup for them in the outfield. They got him cheap. That's a good bat to help them support Yordan Alvarez. The pitching is my only concern. They are like one of the worst pitching staff in the league. But they probably have the best offense in the league because they have the best offensive player in the league. And they have the veterans in their lineup to prove it. Every word that I'm saying right now is just a stab in the heart to me, but
they were a team that was heavily invested in Trevor Larnach and that Minnesota Twins. It was them and the Padres, I believe.
Yep.
And the Diamondbacks were 3 teams looking for a left-handed bat. They didn't need none of them got him because the Twins decided to keep Larnach. Would have loved to see them get more pitching for sure, and giving up, Eric Reddy, who's been on the IL, but still one of your, still a decent pitcher. I'm a little bit concerned with Houston, but if we did an 11 spot, I would have them at my 11 spot because they're right there.
Yeah. I really hope they don't make the playoffs.
Right.
Just
Well, would you rather be the Rangers? I'm guessing then. If
no,
it had to be...
I hate the Rangers as well.
Well, which one? Well, let's say the Mariners don't win the AL West. Who would you want to win?
Neither.
Bomb the division.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Maddox, should we move into our 10s here?
Go ahead. You want to just go? Let's hear your number 10.
My 10 is Twins. A little bit of a hot take, all right? I know everyone, throw the tomatoes at Evan, I like the Twins. They're sitting at 56 and 58 right now, so they don't even have a winning record. But I think the deadline trades that they made. I think that, the fact that they did not sell at the deadline, that's a big thing for me. It shows that they believe in the team, okay? And that also that's going to reflect on the players. Byron Buxton is injured right now. He'll be back. No worries with him. He's on the 10-day IL. I'm sure he'll be back in a couple weeks. And the team has just got to find a way to fight through that, and they have, until he gets back. And I think once he gets back, it's going to be all full steam ahead for the Twins. I like the pickups they made. We already talked about them. It's only up from the Twins here, man. And they're in a very weak division with the Guardians and the White Sox. So just God's faith and, light is upon them. That's what I meant to say. So I think there's a chance this might be a team destined for the playoffs. They're not in the playoff picture right now, but I believe in the Twins. I'm a Twins lover. I'm a Twins supporter.
And with my number 10 spot, with another AL Central team. Somehow in this, despite how much shit we've talked about the AL Central, 3 of their teams make our power rankings. I went with the Guardians at number 10. I like their deadline acquisitions a lot. I love that Foster Griffin trade. That was a trade that I was very high on. We both were pretty high on.
I love Foster Griffin.
Joe Adell really slid under the radar. I think a big part of that was because Jeff Passan did not tweet about it, which surprised me. I saw John Heyman tweet about it, and I was like, okay, I don't know if it's true or not because John Heyman's notorious for being off about trades, and I was like, okay, I'll wait on the Passan announcement to,
And he never tweeted it out.
Jeff Passan's out there tweeting about Joey Bart getting traded, but he won't talk about Joe Adell. I mean, Joe Adell's not.
Missed him.
He's not as great as he had been, but he's still a decent hitter. I like Foster Griffin. I mean, Joe Adell's 241 with 16 homers. Pretty solid stuff from him. And then, they also got Nathaniel Lowe. A decent left-handed bat is what you're looking for stability with a left-handed hitter. You get one there, Nathaniel Lowe, a veteran. They also get Blake Perkins and Craig Yoho, a pitcher or an outfielder and a pitcher, respectively, from the Brewers. That was in a trade with trading Bo Naylor and Cody Hewart to Milwaukee. That was on August 1st.
That was an interesting trade.
Yeah, so it's that one also flew under the radar, honestly. So I don't know what they're gonna do. They ended up trading a couple of catchers, one Naylor and then Jacob Cozart, another catcher, to the Angels. They also sent down David Fry and Kyle Manzardo as well with the acquisitions of Adell and Lowe. So we'll see about where the Guardians go, but that AL Central is wide open, and I think those top three teams all have a chance to win that division, and they also all have a chance. They have a chance to send two teams to the playoffs as well, with a potential. And the Guardians are
AL's wide open,
the
dude.
Guardians in that wild card spot somehow. So that's what I've got, and that's what we have for our power rankings. Want to go through it just one more time? List 1 through 10.
Yeah, you do yours. I'll do mine.
Okay. I've got from 1 through 10. I've got the Dodgers, the Brewers, the Braves, the Rays, the Yankees, the Cubs, the Red Sox, the Phillies, the White Sox, and the Guardians. With the Astros, my honorable mention, tip my cap to them.
Yep, I got the Dodgers, Brewers, Rays, Braves, Cubs, Red Sox, Yankees, Phillies, Astros, Twins, and my honorable mention, I think I'm going to put it at the Guardians. I really like their pickups. And then, I mean, anything else you want to talk about, Maddox?
I think we're coming up on the timer now where we should probably be saying goodbye to these lovely people. Can you end the recording, actually? Because it's not letting me record.
I can't end the recording. I don't know how.
What?
I don't.
What is going on?
Let me see. I know if we leave, it'll.
Yeah, because it's saying okay. Everyone else is still being recorded. Refresh.
I'm gonna refresh. All right. Well, we'll do our outro here. We'll cut it off.
Yep.
I'm Zevin Morse.
Maddox Martin. You end it. Go ahead. Lead us out.
Right. We'll see you later. This has been the On Deck Circle. Thanks for joining, everyone. Good night.
Peace out.
Okay. I don't know how we do this.
I said I'm
gonna
gonna
reload.
refresh. Yes. Here we go. Okay.
I've never been able to start or end the podcast, so.